What's going on, guys? It is January 14th, 2020, and today we're not going to be doing a lot as far as moving around outside of the apartment. I'm actually going to be editing a lot of projects. I'm going to be editing BTS, and I have a couple more music videos that I need to edit, as well as editing that 25,000 subscriber giveaway video that I'm going to be putting up on my YouTube channel, so you all can go ahead and win what prize that I am giving away in that YouTube subscriber giveaway. So it is going to be a lot of editing and a lot of stuff inside of this video for this vlog. It's not going to be a lot of moving around. There's not a lot going on today. And the last thing I need to do is while I'm running around running errands is I have to take my Sigma 24mm art to a repair shop. Yes, that is another thing that I did accidentally drop, and now the focus ring does not work, so hopefully that is not going to cost as much as the lens would. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to scrap that lens and go buy a new one, because right now I am filming on the Sigma 18 to 35mm zoom lens, and it's just not the same as using a prime Sigma art lens. The bokeh's not the same. It's a lot heavier than the Sigma 24mm art, in my opinion. And on top of that, you just don't want to vlog with a zoom lens. It's way easier to vlog with that 24mm that I had. It was just more crisp with the prime lens. Obviously, zoom lenses are not going to give you as crisp a look as a prime is, because a prime is centered only on that focal length, while zoom can go into obviously multiple focal lengths. So it's not going to be as clear and crisp using a zoom as it is a prime. And okay, lower this down. Nope. Damn, yo. Recording there, recording here. No SD card. Alright guys, so in today's video I wanted to discuss with you all a topic that a lot of visual creators have asked me to speak on and to give my own opinion on, and that is when it comes to building up your own brand. So you would probably guess that the question that I always get asked the most when it comes to building your brand up is, should you go the independent route and just build your brand up solely with working with independent artists, independent clients, independent companies, or should you go the route of trying to get and work with a major artist, a major company, or a major client, and then building your brand up that way? So that's the question that I always get asked the most when it comes to building your brand up. And then these are my thoughts when it comes to that. The best thing I can tell you is the first thing that you need to do is be able to sit down and have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself, what do you want to accomplish and what do you want to do with your career as a visual creator? What do you want to do in the short term of things? And what is your ultimate long-term goals as far as being a visual creator? Now guys, like I said, there is no right or wrong answer. Some people don't even want to build their own brand up. Some people are very content when it comes to working for a major artist, a major company, or a major client. And then there's gonna be the independent freelance people that don't want to work underneath that major umbrella and be told what they can and cannot do and what projects they can and cannot take on. Some visual creators want that independence and they want to be able to do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, and set their own work pace and set their own work schedule, and just everything is based off of what they determine to be done for that day, that week, that month, that year. They're independent. They're the freelance people that don't want to report to that major umbrella. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it doesn't matter if you want to work on the major side or if you want to work on the independent freelance side, you're gonna need to build your brand up no matter what. So as a visual creator coming up right now, I think it's a great time because we're in the social media era where independent freelance visual creators are able to, get major brand deals without ever having to even work with a major artist, a major company, or a major client. They solely build their brand and their name up as an independent freelance visual creator. And from there, they're able to get those, big name brands, those big name companies now reaching out to them and investing into them because those independent freelance people built their name and their brand up, and from that now they're making all this money and they're getting these brand deals and they're getting all these opportunities and they're being able to do things that even years ago a visual creator wouldn't have been able to be exposed to without going underneath that major umbrella route. So I've always viewed things in life as it doesn't matter how you get from start to finish, everything in between. It doesn't matter how you get there. It just matters about getting to the finish line, getting to the goals and the dreams that you've set for yourself and your career and your brand. That's ultimately what matters, because everybody's start to finish and everything in between is going to be different. Again, everybody's personal goals and dreams are different to the next person. I have peers who have different goals and dreams as far as building up their brand and being visual creators than I do. It's okay. Everybody has different goals, dreams, opinions. That's just how it is. So ultimately, it doesn't matter how you get from the start to the finish line. It just matters about getting to that finish line. So in my opinion, I think the best way to be able to build your brand up is to go underneath that major umbrella, whether it be the major artist, the major company, or the major client, while simultaneously building up your brand and your name while you're working with that major artist, company, or client. The only thing that really truly matters is does that major artist, company, or client allow you to work on your own brand and your own name when you're not working with them? Now, yes, it is going to be a lot of hours of sleep that you're going to lose if you're trying to go the route where you are working underneath a major umbrella while trying to build your own brand and your name up. Yes, it is going to be a lot of sleep loss, but it's a great thing to be able to knock out both things at once. Any visual creator should be trying to look at their career through the long game. And if you're able to work the major umbrella route while building your own brand and your name up, yes, in the beginning, within the first couple of years, maybe even the first 3 to 5 years, it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. But it's better to do that in the beginning than to be trying to play catch up where you may just work for a major artist or a major company or a client, and you're not building your brand and your name up, only to be let go by that major artist, company, or client, or they just go on a different route. And now you're back at square one because you haven't built your brand and your name up, so nobody knows who you are. And if they do, they only know you from working with that major umbrella, whether it be the artist, the company, or the client. So you always need to be focused on working on your own brand and your name up, whether you're doing it as an independent freelancer or you're working underneath a major umbrella of some sort. Now, the way I look at things is everything has an expiration date, especially when you're working underneath a major umbrella, whether or not they want to go a different route and work with a different person, or you get to a situation where you want to move on to bigger and better things. If you're spending that time working on your own brand and your own name, no matter what happens with that major umbrella situation that you have that you're working with, they can't take away your brand and your name if you've been working on it while working underneath that major umbrella. Your brand can't be taken away. The only person that can affect your brand and your name that you've built up is yourself. We've seen plenty of, YouTubers or people in general who have built their brand and their name up. The only people that have ever sabotaged their actual brand and their name has always been themselves. So at the end of the day, when you build your own brand and your name up and you get that fan base and you get that core, following your brand and your name, the major companies can't take that away from you. So even if you stop working with that major artist, that major company, that major client, you're always going to have your own brand and your own name. Guys, when it comes to business, the name of the game is leverage, and whoever holds the leverage is going to be able to dictate what goes on, and is going to be the person who has the upper hand, who has, again, the leverage. And unfortunately, guys, there's a lot of people in business who allow their personal emotions and their feelings to interfere with the actual business. You shouldn't be putting your emotions into business. You need to look at things through a logical standpoint. That is what actually screws up a lot of people when it comes to businesses. They put their personal emotions involved with it. Or at the opposite side, they just don't know enough about business and they haven't spent enough time actually learning the business side of the craft that they're in. We as visual creators, a lot of our job is visuals, and it has to do with being a creative person. And there's a lot of people who just choose to never actually study and learn the business side of their craft on the visual side. And I've seen a lot of people getting taken advantage of. I myself, coming up as a visual creator, was taken advantage of. I feel like almost all of us as visual creators at some point or another have been taken advantage of and not been paid what we're worth. But again, this is the leverage factor of when you go and do business with people, if they know you don't know your business or they feel that they have the leverage, they're gonna always try to take advantage of that. Now, with that being said, I feel like we've all heard the saying, to become a millionaire, you have to have 5 to 7 sources of income. And not even, some people don't even wanna be a millionaire. So let's just say to become financially independent, you for sure have to have more than one source of income. but I would agree and say you have to have about 5 to 7 sources of income coming in. And the problem is if you only ever focus on having one source of income, you're gonna always be at the mercy of your employer. If you only ever focus on just making the income from working underneath that major umbrella, you're always gonna be at the mercy of working underneath that major umbrella. And again, this is why you should be building your own brand and your name up. That's another source of income that leads to multiple sources of income aside from just working underneath that major umbrella. Now guys, I'm gonna be real honest with you. There is no employer that is ever going to pay you what you feel that you're worth. They're only gonna pay you what they know that they can get away with. Now, how many of you all just got upset at me or just felt some type of way or got emotional off of the statement that I just made? Like, what the are you talking about, Joe? You don't know what you're talking about. I can get paid by my employer. I get paid what I want. You're just getting emotional from that statement that I just made. And now, how many of you all heard me make this statement and you understand that that's business? But now that you know that and you've learned that at some point in your career, you're using that to your advantage. This is the difference between people who put their personal emotions over business, or the people who understand that this is business and now have used that to their advantage to learn how to play the game and to use it to their advantage to get what they want out of their career and their life. Again, guys, like I said, the point of business is gaining the leverage, and the only way as a visual creator to truly have the leverage is to build your own brand and your name up, so the same major artists, companies, or clients that you may have had to been working under, now they come to you because you have the leverage and you've built your brand and your name up, and now they're seeking you instead of you seeking them. If you're the person that's coming to an artist or a company or a client trying to work with them, they're gonna dictate the terms and they're gonna tell you what needs to be done, and they're gonna tell you what you're gonna get paid, as opposed to that artist, that company, that client in general coming now to you as that brand and that name. Now you have the leverage and now you get to determine what you charge, you know, what kind of job gets done. You have the leverage, you hold all the cards, as opposed to that person that you're trying to reach out to, they hold the cards. It's all about leverage. Even if you don't, like I said, want to be that person who works as an independent freelancer and you want to work underneath a major umbrella, you still should be building your brand and your name up, because if you're doing that, you're building your brand and your name up as an individual. So you may have other major companies, clients, or artists reach out to you that may be a better or bigger situation than the current thing that you're in right now working underneath. So now that you've built your brand and your name up, you can now have other options in going underneath another major umbrella that may be a better situation for you financially or in some other avenue. Building your name and your brand up is going to help either on the major side or the independent freelance side. You need to be building your brand and your name up no matter what. Now, I've worked for several major artists, companies, and clients over the last 5 to 7 years. And even while doing that, I always made it a point to make sure to work on my own brand and my name. I would not be where I am right now if I wasn't working on my own brand and my name. A lot of the jobs that I have gotten outside of those major artists and those major companies and clients have not come actually from working with those major artists, companies, and clients, but it's actually come from my own brand and my name and working with these independent companies, clients, and creators. Now, I'm not going to say that I didn't get certain jobs based off of working with those major companies, artists, and clients, but I've also at the same time, anytime I've gotten a gig outside of those major artists or that major umbrella, I've always asked that person who's wanted to work with me, where did you hear my name, or where did you hear or see my work? And a majority of the time, it has always been based off of my own freelance independent work that was based off of my own brand and name and my own freelance work. It wasn't so much about the major umbrella that I was working with, although, as I said, I have worked certain jobs where they found me based off of the major umbrellas that I had worked under. So again, in my experience, working underneath that major umbrella while building your own brand and name is like the double knockout. It's the best way to go about trying to do both things at once, and I feel like you should be able to work not only in the independent freelance route, but you also should try working out in the major umbrella route as well. So you need to work on both of them at the same time. That's my experience, and that's what has best worked for me and certain people that I know that have gone that specific route. Now, another thing that I do want to point out is as I said, as visual creators, we don't get told a lot about business. There's not a lot of tutorials or topics on YouTube that is related to the business side of our craft. And I do want to point out that, you know, I got lucky in working with certain major artists, companies, and clients that, you know, they allowed me to do freelance work and work as an independent contractor on other jobs. When it comes to the major umbrella, as far as major artists, major companies, or major clients, a majority of them are going to want you to sign a non-disclosure agreement, or an NDA for short. On top of signing an NDA with that major company, most of the time they're going to also want you to sign a contract that has a non-compete clause, which basically means you're only working for that specific company, client, or artist. You're not allowed to go out and freelance and work with what they would call as competing or competitive other clients, artists, or companies. They basically, what they are doing is they're locking you down to only working specifically with them. Now, that's not to say that that's a bad thing, because most of the time when they put you in that situation, they're going to have to pay you and they're going to have to compensate, because they know that they're asking you to only work for them and they're not allowing you to work for anybody else. So in those scenarios, most of the time you're going to be put in a decent to a high paying salary job. But the problem is, like I said, in those scenarios, whether it be the artist, the company, or the client, that you've now signed that non-disclosure agreement as well as signing that non-compete agreement, you're going to be put in a situation where you're not able to build your own brand or your name up, because again, you're only working with that major company, client, or artist. You're not allowed to go out and do freelance work or independent work, because they'll view that as a competitive situation where you're working with other people. So again, you're only stuck to working with that specific company, client, or artist. So while you may be getting paid a decent to a high salary, you're also not being able to build your brand and your name up. Now again, as I said, I feel like everything does have an expiration date. So if you're not building your brand and your name up, even if you're getting paid well, you're now going to be put in the situation where whenever that time does arise, you're back at square one, because you have not been able to build your brand and your name up. And again, you're not able to talk about what you've done because you've signed that NDA. So you're not even able to promote that you've been working for this company or show any of the work that you've done for this company, because you signed a non-disclosure agreement where you're not allowed to talk about or show the work that you have done for that company. Now, when it comes to working with that major umbrella, I tell visual creators this is something I would strongly advise against if they present you with a non-disclosure agreement, a non-compete agreement, on top of if they ask you to sign away all of your rights to your photos and your video. Anything that you shoot on your camera as far as photos or videos, you own, unless that company has made you sign a contract that is stating that you are now giving away your rights of these photos and videos to that person, client, or company. So again, it's all about the leverage. There is people that will take that situation, signing away all their rights to the photos and videos, signing a non-disclosure agreement, and signing a non-compete clause, because they want that security of getting that major salary or even a decent salary, to where they're able to basically pay their bills, and they're not technically working a regular 9-to-5 job. So they'll give away all of those rights and they'll sign away basically all of those things and all the contract stuff related to that, just so they can get that decent to major salary. They care more about the money and having the bills paid and stuff like that, as opposed to building their brand. But like I said, for visual creators, I'd tell them this is something that I would strongly advise against, because you want to be in a situation where you're able to work with those major umbrellas while still being able to build your own brand and your own name up as a freelance independent visual creator. You as a visual creator should always be focused on playing the long game, and when it comes to working with a major umbrella and signing that NDA, signing that non-compete, and giving away all your rights, you're not playing the long game, you're playing the short game, because yes, you may get a decent to a high paying salary, but you have no brand, you have no name. So once that situation disappears, you're now back at square one. Now, as I said, I feel like it's a great time to be a visual creator, because these major companies and these brands are reaching out now to us, and they're paying even upwards of multi-million-dollar deals to us as visual creators, because we're spending that time building our brand and building our name up to a point of these companies now want to reach out to us and have us do visual things that they're willing to pay us, top dollar for. Again, you're creating the leverage to where you're building your brand and your name up, and you're having the people, the brands, the companies come and seek you because you've built up that fan base and you've built up that brand and that name. You now have the leverage, so you now hold the cards, and you have the people that are willing to pay you what you now feel that you're worth, because you spent that time building your brand and your name up. Now, when it comes to our world and our craft as far as visuals, how many of you all have heard the name of Sam Colder, and how many of you all have heard the name Peter McKinnon? Exactly, probably a majority, if not all of you that are watching this video, know those two names. That's because they built their brand and their name up, so most of us in the visual community know those two names. Now, on the flip side, if you turn your TV on right now and watch any commercial, whether it be for Ford, Nike, Under Armour, NFL, NBA, name any major company that has a commercial out. How many of you all can name the director that shot those major commercials? Okay, I'll go even further. If I told you the person's name who shot those commercials, do they have a brand? Do they have a name that's known? Exactly. 9 times out of 10, we don't know who those people are, even if you told us their names, because they're working under major umbrellas. They usually don't have the time to be working and building their own brand and their name because they're working underneath those major umbrellas. Now, like I said, we're in the social media era, so now it's getting to the point now where these major companies are trying to stay relevant to the times. So what they're doing is they are going out and reaching out to these visual creators who have created their own brand and their own name, and they're having them create content for these major companies, whether it be commercials, social media content, whatever it may be. You now have these major companies reaching out to these brands and these visual creators that have built their name and their brand up, as opposed to, like I said, the major company just hiring somebody who may be good at their work to shoot that commercial for them, but we as a visual community don't know who that person is because they don't have a brand or a name. So like I said, at the end of the day, this all comes back to you need to build your brand and your name up no matter what. You need to be focused on that. Even if you are working underneath a major umbrella, you should be building your brand and your name up at the same time. It's gonna go a long way for you guys, I promise you. I hope this video has helped you all. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with what I've talked about in this video and what your own personal experiences is, whether it be working with a major umbrella, major artist, major company, major client, or if you've only been working the independent freelance route, or if you've done, in my own experience, what I've done and gone the major umbrella route while working your own brand and your own name and your own independent freelance situation. Let me know down below if you all agree or disagree with what I've said and your own personal experiences with this and what you think about this topic as far as building your brand up. And if you guys want to see more videos like this related to these kind of topics and business topics in general, which I feel we as visual creators should be having more videos like this on YouTube and social media platforms discussing, like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the content that I will be dropping on this channel. I'll check in with you guys later.